Welcome back to the afternoon shift. It's been a busy 36 hours in sports. All of them not so great stories. The Vikings losing yesterday. The Lynx are eliminated. And now just breaking within the last hour, Rocco Baldelli. He is out as manager of the Minnesota Twins. Thankfully, our guy Pierre Noujaim is all over this, and he joins us right now from right outside Target Field. Pierre, what's going on, my man? How are you? There he is.
Adam, good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for pivoting. I know you were just next door at Target Center, and now at Target Field. Pierre, your initial thoughts to this news of Rocco Baldelli being letting go of his managerial duties for the Twins?
Honestly, Adam, I'm not terribly surprised, but at the same time, too, I'm kind of sitting here left shaking my head because I have no idea what direction this franchise is going in right now. And it really all starts at the top with the Pohlad family, who really, in my view, has not done a great job of being transparent about what they want to do with this franchise. Are they going to sell? Are they not going to sell? If they are going to sell, what is the number that they feel comfortable in selling? And if you're not going to sell, what is going to happen with this team in the meantime? Just 2 years ago, this team won a playoff series for the first time in quite a while. Everybody was on riding high, thinking that this team and this franchise had turned a potential corner. But after what we saw last year with the second half collapse and falling out of the playoff picture last year and going into what we saw into this season, the wheels have really fallen off the wagon from just 2 years ago. And right now, this franchise feels like it's stuck in purgatory. And I can't blame the fans whatsoever about being despondent and uninterested in this organization right now, because they're not doing the type of things that really garner fan interest or fan trust, really, in terms of how they turn this team into a winner. So I certainly can understand the fans' frustration at this point. But Rocco Baldelli's time here in Minnesota is at an end after 7 seasons as the club's manager.
Yep, 70-92 record this season, the 4th worst record in Major League Baseball. Thankfully, not the bottom feeders of the AL Central. That would be the Chicago White Sox. And yeah, Pierre, listen, I know you and we talk about numbers sometimes off camera. The Twins were the preseason favorites to win the division this year. How did it happen this year? How did it go down to go from being thought of that highly in the preseason by the odds makers to now kind of shaking your head and selling off at the trade deadline, and now, being left without a manager on the eve of the baseball playoffs beginning?
Well, it comes down to 2 things, really, in my mind. You had players with a lot of talent that didn't live up to expectations. Yeah. That's part one. And part 2, as always, in every other team, in every other sport, it's injuries. Pablo Lopez went down with the injury earlier in the season. That certainly didn't help things. Byron Buxton, although he was relatively healthy for the majority of the season, Byron Buxton was really, let's be honest, the lone bright spot of this team throughout the entire season. He really had a spectacular season in his own right. But guys like Royce Lewis, guys like Carlos Correa before he was eventually traded, they did not live up to expectations, and this Twins offense really were leaning on those 2 guys in particular to get them over the hump. And on paper, you look at this team on paper, and you think to yourself, this has to be the best team in the AL Central, which, in fairness, is not considered to be the strongest division in all of Major League Baseball, at least not going into this season. But talent fell short of expectations this year. You saw what happened at the trade deadline. And this is where we are right now with this team. And if you know the direction of where the Minnesota Twins are going right now, feel free to come up here and tell me right now, because your guess is as good as mine right now, Adam.
Let's talk about the future. I don't know. Let's talk about the future of the Twins. Are there any names that stick out to you? It's been a little bit of a busy day in baseball with managerial names. I know the San Francisco Giants parted ways with Bob Melvin earlier today. Is there a name that you think might be out there for the Twins? Do they know their potential suitor right now at this moment, you think?
Well, I don't think Derek Falvey right now has anyone particularly in mind. I'm sure there is a short list up there in the Twins front office, but if he knows about the direction he is going, he is not certainly sharing it with any of us as of right now. I expect the members of the front office to have a press conference tomorrow. We might get a little bit of an idea of the direction they might want to go. But it's interesting that you bring up Bob Melvin, who was just fired today by the San Francisco Giants. Bob Melvin has had a terrific career as a manager. In recent years, I can certainly understand why you might pause a little bit, given that his time in San Francisco did not go the way they all thought it would. But he's just a couple of years removed from taking the Padres to the National League Championship Series in San Diego. Before that, he had a very successful tenure as a manager of the Oakland Athletics. So I think that Bob Melvin, even though, it might be another retread, and some people may not want a retread as your new manager, but I think Bob Melvin is certainly a name that you might want to pay attention to because I think Bob Melvin still has a lot of good years left in him as a manager.
Yeah, and the Giants this year were right there on the brink. They played the Dodgers a lot down the stretch, and that kind of ended up being their downfall. But the Giants weren't that far away from being right on the cusp of the playoffs. Pierre, what's